Oh, the PlayStation 1 Classic. I was so excited to play this micro system. Why wouldn't you be? I mean, we're talking about the PlayStation 1, one of the best consoles of all time with awesome games like Xenogears, Parasite Eve, Resident Evil 2, Metal Gear Solid. I mean, I can keep going on and on and on about how great of a library this beast of a console had. But of course, Sony had to come and screw it up. I mean, the template was easy. You had it right in front of you, Sony. I mean, look at Nintendo. Look at what they did with the micro console. Easy. You get a nice looking micro console, get the best of the best games in that small little micro console, make sure that it runs really, really good, and then boom, money. Of course, give a little bit of incentive so people could buy it. Example, Star Fox 2. But no, Sony went completely the opposite scenario. They said, let's see how Nintendo did it. Let's copy them, but let's do it worse. I mean, you have to understand, they just went and charged more for the micro console, did not offer anything better, did not have any analog application in the controller. Most of the games runs like shit. And we're talking, of course, about using the PAL version of the games on the micro console. It's almost like Sony said, let's give our fans a big pile of shit. And you can see it. You can see the greed in the eyes of Sony. They went like, oh, we're gonna get a lot of suckers in this little micro console. We're gonna get them. We're gonna sell you this console at $100 and you're gonna like it. And you know why they're thinking that way? Because the PS1 has a great legacy, has the same type of nostalgia, I feel, and this is coming from a PlayStation fan, as the Super NES and the NES. This console can stand right toe to toe with those two big juggernauts. But no, Sony and the executives at Sony said, let's fuck the legacy. Let's shit on the legacy. Let's give the fans, let's give them a big pile of crap. Of course, Sony, you had to screw it. Even when you copy people, sometimes you have to screw it up. It was simple. The template was there. You just had to follow it, Sony. Anyway, here are the things that Sony could have done to make the PS1 Classic successful. Number one, simple, controller. And you would say, what's the big deal? It comes with a controller. Son! You have to understand the PlayStation 1 Classic controller, the original one, was a piece of crap. Sony improved on the design during the PlayStation 1 generation and gave us two analog sticks. And here's the problem while using the crappy original PS1 controller. The problem is that you would not be able to play classic games like Ape Escape. And that is a big deal. Or get better movement in controls in games like Metal Gear Solid. So it is a sad state of affairs when Sony, for $100, the controller that they give you is the original PlayStation 1 controller. Number two, library of games. If you reduce the library of games and give someone a small snapshot, you would say Sony is knocking it out of the park with games like Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid, Tekken 3, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Wild Arms. You'd be like, man, this list is fire. But once you open the sea, like the Red Sea, like Moses did to the Red Sea, you start seeing the ugly truth with games like Mr. Driller, Destruction Derby, Cool Borders 2, Battle Arena Toshinden. What in the hell is going? Jumping Flash. Flash! Jumping Flash! You gotta be kidding me! Jumping Flash! What the fuck? Oh my god! Intelligent Cube! Oh god. Sony, this was simple! Boy, if you're not gonna do anything special with the PS1 Classic, just give it a strong library of games. I mean, come on, son. You got so many awesome RPGs during that generation. You could have made this system just full of RPGs. I mean, like with Breath of Fire and Xenogears and Paradise Eve, who, of course, the Japanese version of the PS1 Classic has. Yeah, good shit, Sony. Where's Resident Evil 2? Where's Crash Bandicoot? Where is Spyro the Dragon? Where's Medieval? I know all these games are gonna be remake, I understand, but at least Sony, you had to put in one representative of each of these games. You just can't leave the PS1 Classic library without those mascots. Oh my god, Sony, you had one job, and it was creating a compelling library for this system. Number 3, hard drive. Sony, if you were selling this micro console for $100, would it kill you just to add a hard drive, a 62 gig hard drive, something like that? So why is hard drive so important? Because hard drive could have led to expanding the horizons on this game, and this is what Sony could have done with this micro console. It could have expanded the horizons of this console, taken the micro consoles to a new frontier. But no, Sony wanted to sell you the console really expensive but give you crap. But anyway, going back to hard drive. Why hard drive would have been critical? Because Sony could have found a way. If you did not want to connect this console to online, to PSN, you could have found a way that you could sell the PS1 games on your PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, whatever you can get them. Put them in a, I don't know, let's just say memory stick, pen drive, whatever you want to use, and then download those games to the PS1 Classic. You would be expanding the library of games, so you would have more customizations for the customer, Sony. You had a chance to really take the micro console to the next generation. Number 4, PS Online connectivity. Why I mean PS Online connectivity? If really Sony wanted, hey, that's fine. Sell your micro console for $150. That's fine. But add Ethernet connectivity to the system. Add Wi-Fi if you could. Because that way, now the hard drive together with the online connectivity means that you can download any game you want to the system. You can download any game, so you could have recurring sales, because people would have gone back, Sony. They would have gone back and bought PS1 games to fill their nice looking PS1 Classic console. Is that so hard, Sony? I understand for Nintendo, for the Super NES and the NES Mini, because Nintendo can't do online right now with their Switch. How in the hell they're gonna do it right for the Super NES and the NES Mini? You have to understand that. Anyway, Sony, you could have really taken to the next step and connect the system to an online service. And finally, number 5, multiplayer. Oh my god. Imagine you be able to play Tekken 3 online, guys. Even Battle Arena Toshinden, play it online. Street Fighter Puzzle Edition, play that sucker online. Imagine if you give a huge incentive, Sony, like that for your micro console. The PlayStation 1 Classic could have destroyed the Super NES and the NES Mini. But no, Sony. You didn't want to do it. You didn't want to go the extra step. You just wanted to have a quick buck. In conclusion, after Sony had a great year for the PlayStation 4 with games like God of War, Spider-Man, Detroit Become Human, Shadow of the Colossus Remake, Astrobot, I mean, all those 90s were flying in Metacritic. Sony had one more thing that they had to do to make 2018 one of their greatest years of all time, and was to deliver a PlayStation classic that would have destroyed the Super NES and NES Mini. That was their shot. They could have taken the micro console business and evolve it, made it better, show Nintendo that they had to take the N64 Mini seriously before they dropped it. But no, here's what Sony thought. Jeez, the Super NES and the NES Mini are making money. We should do that, but let's not plan it. No, there's no plan in this, folks. Sony went and said, just put a couple emulators there. A couple of ROMs in there. Just put whatever emulator works. Let's not make sure the games run well. Let's just pull the PAL version. We're in a hurry. We need to deliver this console for Christmas, so Mr. Santa Claus, ho ho ho, can deliver the PS1 Classic to the kids. And let's make that money, because that's what we were caring about, folks. That's what Sony was caring about. Make that money, make a quick buck. Well, you know what, Sony? Consumers are smart. Consumers are really smart, and they saw it. They saw through you. They saw that you shitted on the legacy of PlayStation 1. Then fans like myself, who love the PlayStation brand, did not buy the console. Because we feel strongly that the PlayStation legacy deserves better. And that is something Nintendo does better than you, Sony. Nintendo respects their legacy better than you. So Sony, my recommendation, if you ever do this again, you do a PlayStation 2 Mini, do it right. Do it the right way, and do it for your fans, and give them the console they deserve. Anyway, this has been Dantes. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make this crazy MF happy. Also remember, we do have a Nintendo podcast, and it's called the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast. Every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can get that podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes for free. Rate us over there so you can show up some love. Also, go to the description box below so you can see the full channel schedule. Also, Facebook page at Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to forceinunison.wordpress.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, thank you again for taking this little trip with me. Good night, everybody.